Hello, everyone. Brothers and sisters, let us take a moment to reflect on a truth that is often overlooked in the pursuit of wealth. So many of us think that money comes as a result of our efforts, our intelligence, or our strategies alone. But the reality is far deeper. Every blessing, every increase, every financial provision that comes into your life is first and foremost from God. It is not merely the product of human effort, it is the outpouring of divine favor. And when we recognize this, our entire approach to life and to money begins to change. You see, when money comes from God, it is not a badge of pride, nor is it a reason to boast before others. It is a sacred trust, a gift that carries responsibility. And the first step toward wisdom is to acknowledge that this provision is not ours by right, but by grace. When we understand this, it humbles us. It reminds us that the source is higher, and our role is stewardship, not ownership. This realization shifts the way we handle wealth, the way we speak about it, and the way we use it to impact the world around us. Consider this. So often, people are quick to announce their successes, their promotions, their new acquisitions. They post them, they flaunt them, as if the blessing itself validates their worth. But when the money truly comes from God, the wise person understands that words are not necessary. Actions speak louder than announcements. Faithful management, generosity, and careful planning are the marks of one who knows that money is a divine gift. To be quiet about it is not shame, it is wisdom. To be humble in the midst of abundance is not weakness, it is strength. And here is another truth. Recognizing God's hand in your finances does more than protect your pride, it protects your heart. If you begin to believe that your wealth comes solely from your own abilities, you will become vulnerable to arrogance, greed, and the endless hunger for more. You will measure your value by your bank account and compare your success to that of others. But when you see money as a blessing from God, your perspective changes. You are grateful, you are mindful, you are careful not to let wealth define you or control you. Gratitude becomes the filter through which every financial decision passes. It also shapes your priorities. When you know that money is God-given, you begin to ask, how can I use this for good? How can I honor the one who provided this to me? Suddenly, wealth is no longer just a personal resource, it becomes a tool for service. It becomes a means to feed the hungry, to care for the needy, to invest in the work of God, and to bless those around you. Your money becomes a testimony, a living message that God provides and that His children are faithful stewards. But wisdom requires more than recognition, it requires restraint. The quiet humility of one who knows the source of their wealth is a shield against envy and conflict. Not everyone will rejoice in your blessings, and not every voice around you is a voice of support. By keeping your heart aligned with God and your mouth restrained, you prevent discord and protect the gift itself. There is great power in silence, in allowing your integrity, your wisdom, and your generosity to speak louder than words ever could. Remember, the first step toward wisdom in financial matters is simple: acknowledge God. See the source of every blessing, and let that acknowledgement guide your actions. Do not chase recognition. Do not seek validation. Instead, seek discernment. Seek humility. Seek the wisdom to multiply what is given, not just in wealth, but in influence, in compassion, and in service to others. Let your gratitude be loud in your heart, even if it is quiet to the world. Let your stewardship shine through your deeds, even when no one is watching. And so, as you walk in life, as you receive the blessings that come to you, remember this: it is not about showing off, it is about standing firm in gratitude, humility, and wisdom, trusting that the source of your provision knows what is best for you and for those you are called to serve. Let us hold this truth in our hearts and act on it faithfully, for in doing so, we honor the giver of all good things. Brothers and sisters, once we have recognized that every blessing, every increase, and every financial provision comes from God, we must take the next step: embracing humility in success. Humility is not weakness, and it is not a lack of ambition. No, humility is a quiet strength, a recognition that our achievements are never solely the product of our own efforts. When God entrusts us with abundance, it is a call to walk with grace, not to parade our success before the world. Humility allows us to handle prosperity wisely, and it protects us from the traps that so often come with wealth. How easy it is to be carried away by success. We see it every day. People climb the ladder of achievement and immediately forget where they came from. They begin to define themselves by what they own, what they earn, or how others perceive them. Pride creeps in silently, and with pride comes a dangerous blindness. We begin to rely on our own strength, forgetting that every opportunity, every advantage, and every resource is ultimately a gift from God. But the humble heart understands that wealth is not a destination, it is a responsibility. Humility shapes the way we interact with others. When we are blessed, it is tempting to demand respect, to expect admiration, or to assert our superiority. Yet wisdom tells us that true respect is not commanded, it is earned through character, integrity, and the way we treat those around us. When we stay humble, we extend grace to others. We listen more than we speak, and we serve rather than dominate. The humble person does not need to announce their success. Their actions, their generosity, and their wisdom speak for them. This is especially important in moments when we are misunderstood, overlooked, or even disrespected. Success can make some people bitter or defensive, but humility allows us to respond differently. We do not retaliate. We do not boast or brag. Instead, we hold our heads high with quiet confidence, knowing that our position and our blessings are not determined by human approval, but by God's favor. In humility, we find a peace that pride can never give, a peace that protects our hearts, strengthens our character, and opens the door for further blessing. Humility in success also shapes our financial choices. A humble heart recognizes that wealth is not for indulgence alone. It is a resource to be managed carefully, shared wisely, and invested for lasting impact. When we flaunt our abundance, we risk attracting envy, creating tension, and losing sight of the true purpose of our blessings. But when we remain humble, we think long-term, we plan, we seek counsel. We act with wisdom, knowing that every decision we make affects not only our own lives but the lives of those around us. Think about the people who inspire you. Do they boast about every achievement? Do they flaunt their victories? Rarely. The truly successful and impactful individuals are those who remain grounded, who give credit where it is due, and who remain teachable, no matter how high they climb. Humility allows us to continue learning, to continue growing, and to continue walking in alignment with God's will. Pride, on the other hand, cuts us off from growth, blinds us to counsel, and invites failure disguised as success. And here is another powerful truth: humility invites blessing. When we walk humbly, God delights to increase us. The quiet heart, content in gratitude and careful in conduct, becomes fertile soil for more provision. Wealth is not simply about accumulation, it is about multiplication for good, for service, and for legacy. The humble heart multiplies not just resources, but influence, love, and faith in ways that no arrogance can ever achieve. So, my friends, as you receive the blessings of God, remember to remain humble. Let your wealth be managed with care, let your success be tempered with gratitude, and let your heart be gentle in the face of pride, envy, and misunderstanding. Do not seek to impress the world. Seek to honor God in every decision, every interaction, and every step you take. Humility is the foundation that supports every other principle of wisdom in life and in finances. Let us walk with humility, serve with integrity, and manage our blessings with grace, for in doing so, we honor the one who gives and we prepare ourselves for greater wisdom and greater fruitfulness. Brothers and sisters, we have already spoken about recognizing the hand of God in our finances and the power of humility in success, and now we come to another crucial principle: wisdom over impulsiveness. You see, having blessings or wealth is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of a responsibility. Many receive abundance, yet fail to manage it well because they act hastily, follow every desire, or respond to every pressure without thought. But wisdom teaches patience. Wisdom teaches discernment. Wisdom teaches us to see beyond the immediate and to plan for the long term. Impulsiveness is dangerous. It may feel satisfying in the moment to spend freely, to make quick decisions, or to chase opportunities without careful evaluation. But the consequences often follow like shadows. A moment of haste can undo years of careful work. A single impulsive choice can disrupt the blessings that God has entrusted to you. And yet, how often do we act first and think later? How often do we allow emotion, desire, or the opinions of others to dictate our financial choices? The truly wise person stops, prays, reflects, and seeks guidance before moving forward. Wisdom in financial matters is more than caution, it is strategic. It is understanding that resources are limited and precious, and that every decision carries weight. The wise do not simply accumulate wealth for themselves. They allocate, invest, and distribute thoughtfully. They consider the needs of their families, their communities, and their future. They measure risk with discernment and recognize that patience often multiplies what haste wastes. God's provision is not meant to be squandered, but to be cultivated. And that requires discipline and insight. And wisdom extends beyond numbers and accounts. It is a principle that governs relationships, speech, and behavior. When you are blessed with wealth, there will always be voices seeking to influence you, opportunities that tempt you, and pressures that challenge your discernment. The wise person listens, but listens carefully. The wise person asks, does this align with God's purpose for me? Does this decision honor Him and protect His blessings? Impulsive actions, even when well-intentioned, can open doors to trouble and regret. Patience and discernment shield us from the snares of the world. Think also about the power of delayed gratification. Those who understand that God's timing is perfect do not rush to spend, invest, or give recklessly. They allow plans to mature, decisions to ripen, and opportunities to present themselves fully. They recognize that true multiplication of resources often requires waiting, preparation, and wise counsel. And in this waiting, they demonstrate faith not only that God has provided, but that He will continue to guide and multiply according to His perfect plan. Impulsive action may bring immediate satisfaction, but wise patience brings enduring fruit. Another aspect of wisdom is learning from mistakes. Even the most careful among us may stumble, but wisdom allows us to reflect, to correct, and to grow. Impulsiveness ignores reflection. It disregards the lessons that God places in our experiences. The wise person, however, values experience as a teacher, listens to counsel from those who have walked before, and integrates these lessons into every future decision. By doing so, they turn each blessing into a platform for growth, each challenge into a stepping stone, and each resource into a tool for impact. Brothers and sisters, it is also important to understand that acting with wisdom does not mean inaction. It does not mean fear or indecision. Rather, it is the art of moving with purpose, guided by prayer, reflection, and understanding. It is a rhythm of careful planning, thoughtful action, and trust in God's timing. The one who masters this rhythm experiences not only success but peace, because they know that each decision has been weighed and aligned with God's will. So, as you handle the blessings in your life, remember that wisdom over impulsiveness is not just about money, it is about character, stewardship, and trust in the one who provides. Do not allow haste or desire to cloud your judgment. Do not let the opinions of others dictate your choices. Pause, reflect, and ask for God's guidance. Let patience and discernment lead the way, and your resources will not only be protected but multiplied for good. Let us embrace wisdom in every decision, knowing that careful, thoughtful action honors God, safeguards His blessings, and prepares us for even greater fruitfulness in the days to come. Brothers and sisters, as we continue to explore the principles of handling God's blessings, we come to a truth that is often overlooked, but is immensely powerful: the wisdom of silence. When money, success, or favor comes into our lives, the natural tendency is to speak about it, to announce it, or to let the world see what we have achieved. Yet, the truly wise know that sometimes, the most powerful action is simply to keep quiet. Silence is not weakness, it is strength. Silence is not hesitation, it is discernment. Silence is a shield that protects our blessings, our relationships, and our character. When we choose to remain quiet about the resources and opportunities God has given us, we avoid unnecessary envy and contention. There are those who may resent our blessings or seek to take advantage of them. There are those who may misinterpret our success or feel threatened by it. By keeping quiet, we allow our lives and actions to speak louder than words ever could. The humble, silent heart communicates integrity, patience, and wisdom without needing applause or recognition. Silence also strengthens our character. The world often measures people by what they say, but God measures people by what they do and how they steward what has been entrusted to them. When we resist the temptation to boast or to share every detail of our blessings, we cultivate self-control and discipline. We learn to let our faith and our actions guide the story of our lives, rather than the opinions or scrutiny of others. There is incredible power in restraint, because it keeps our hearts focused on the source of our blessings rather than the attention they bring. Consider this: not every voice deserves to hear about your success, and not every situation calls for explanation. Some things are sacred, meant to be guarded until the right time or shared in the right way. When we speak prematurely or indiscreetly, we open doors to misunderstanding, jealousy, and even loss. Silence, on the other hand, protects. It preserves the dignity of the blessing and the purity of our intention. It allows us to navigate the world with discernment and to respond only when wisdom calls for it. Silence also has a profound effect when we face disrespect or opposition. Life will not always treat us gently. There will be those who question our motives, belittle our achievements, or attempt to undermine our confidence. It is tempting to respond immediately, to defend ourselves, or to assert our worth. Yet, the truly wise understand that words spoken in anger or pride can undo what God has built. By remaining quiet in these moments, by choosing patience and reflection over reaction, we rise above the situation. Our silence communicates dignity, strength, and confidence in God's plan. It allows Him to work on our behalf while we maintain a posture of humility and grace. Moreover, silence cultivates clarity. When we step back from the need to explain, justify, or announce, our minds become clear, and our hearts become calm. We gain perspective, understanding the larger picture beyond immediate emotions or pressures. Decisions made from clarity are always wiser, more thoughtful, and aligned with God's purpose. Impulsive words can create complications, but the restraint of silence often prevents misunderstandings before they even arise. And there is a spiritual dimension to this practice. When we keep quiet about the blessings God gives, we acknowledge that the source of our provision is higher than human recognition. We honor God by not seeking validation from others but by living in faith, trust, and gratitude. Our silence becomes an act of worship, a reflection of our reliance on Him, and a testament to the wisdom He imparts. It is a quiet declaration that our lives are guided not by the applause of men, but by the approval of God. So, my friends, let us embrace the wisdom of silence in every aspect of life. Let us allow our actions, our stewardship, and our character to speak for us. Let us respond to disrespect with patience, to challenges with reflection, and to success with humility. In doing so, we protect the blessings God has given, cultivate wisdom, and demonstrate a quiet strength that commands more respect than words ever could. Remember, sometimes the most powerful statement is no statement at all, and sometimes the greatest action is to remain still, trusting in God's timing and His perfect plan. Brothers and sisters, as we continue to walk through the principles of handling God's blessings, there is one truth that cannot be ignored. How we respond to disrespect, opposition, or challenges defines our character more than our words ever could. Life is not always kind, and even those who walk faithfully in God's favor will encounter moments of misunderstanding, ridicule, or outright disrespect. The question is not whether these moments will come, but how we will respond when they do. Wisdom, my friends, teaches us to respond with grace, patience, and integrity, rather than with anger, pride, or retaliation. When someone disrespects us, the natural human reaction is to defend ourselves, to retaliate, or to justify our position. We want to explain, to prove, and to reclaim honor in the eyes of others. But true strength is shown in restraint. When we keep quiet in the face of insult, when we respond with measured thought, rather than impulsive emotion, we demonstrate wisdom far greater than any verbal defense could convey. Silence in such moments is not weakness, it is a shield. It protects our hearts from bitterness, preserves our integrity, and allows God to fight on our behalf. Consider the power of responding with grace. Grace does not mean allowing mistreatment to continue unchecked. Grace means controlling our response so that we do not become entangled in the negativity of the moment. It means rising above the temptation to repay disrespect with disrespect. It means understanding that our worth and our identity are not determined by the opinions of others, but by the one who gave us life, purpose, and blessings. When we respond with grace, we maintain dignity, we preserve relationships where possible, and we allow God's truth to shine through us. Patience is another critical component. Often, disrespect comes from ignorance, misunderstanding, or the projection of others' insecurities. Reacting impulsively will only escalate the situation. But when we are patient, we give time for perspective to emerge. We allow space for clarity, for reconciliation, or for the natural consequences of behavior to unfold. Patience teaches us to step back, to reflect, and to consider the most effective and honorable course of action. It is in patience that we often find the most profound strength. For the world may rush to judge or retaliate, but we act with divine timing and discernment. Responding with wisdom also means choosing our battles carefully. Not every disrespectful word or action requires a response. Sometimes, the most powerful action is to do nothing, to continue walking in faith, integrity, and diligence. By choosing carefully where to invest our energy and when to remain silent, we conserve our strength and protect the blessings God has entrusted to us. In doing so, we also demonstrate maturity and discernment, qualities that attract respect far more effectively than anger or confrontation ever could. Moreover, our response to disrespect becomes a testimony of our faith. When others see that we do not react impulsively or vindictively, they see a heart rooted in God's principles. They witness the quiet power of someone who trusts in God's justice rather than their own. Our actions in these moments speak far louder than any words of defense or retaliation could. They communicate a message of integrity, maturity, and divine wisdom that can influence others more than any speech ever will. Even in the most difficult situations, when disrespect is persistent or even malicious, we can remain anchored in faith. Prayer becomes our refuge and guidance. Instead of responding with retaliation, we seek God's intervention, wisdom, and timing. By doing so, we transform a potentially destructive situation into an opportunity for growth, demonstration of character, and testimony of God's faithfulness. The person who responds with calm, patience, and integrity in the face of disrespect is the one who truly honors God and magnifies His power in their life. So, my friends, as you walk through life and encounter disrespect, opposition, or challenges, remember this: the way you respond reveals the depth of your wisdom and the strength of your character. Do not allow the opinions or actions of others to provoke you into actions that dishonor God. Stand firm, act with grace, exercise patience, and let your integrity speak louder than any words. In doing so, you not only protect the blessings God has entrusted to you, but also become a living testimony of His wisdom, strength, and faithfulness. Let us respond to every challenge with grace and wisdom, knowing that God honors those who honor Him in every circumstance. Brothers and sisters, as we reach the final principle in our reflection on how to handle God's blessings, let us consider the heart of true stewardship. Stewardship is not simply a matter of keeping money or resources. It is a sacred responsibility to use what God has entrusted to us for His glory and for the good of others. When God gives us wealth, He is not merely providing for our comfort or status. He is entrusting us with a tool for influence, a means to bless, and a way to impact the world around us. How we manage what has been given to us will determine whether our blessings multiply and bear fruit, or whether they fade and lose their power. It is easy to fall into the trap of self-interest, thinking that blessings are meant only for us. Yet the truly wise understand that every resource carries a purpose beyond the individual. Money, talents, opportunities, each of these is a seed. If sown selfishly, it may satisfy temporarily, but it will not produce lasting fruit. If sown faithfully, with a heart aligned to God's purposes, it grows into something far greater than we could imagine. Stewardship is about planting wisely, investing thoughtfully, and giving generously, always aware that God is watching, guiding, and multiplying our efforts when they are rooted in faith. One of the most important aspects of stewardship is intentionality. We must be deliberate in how we allocate our resources. Random generosity may warm hearts, but thoughtful stewardship transforms lives. Consider your blessings as instruments of God's work. How can they be used to help those in need, support causes that uplift communities, and advance purposes that honor God? Every dollar, every opportunity, every moment we are given is a chance to demonstrate faithfulness. We are accountable not just for the accumulation of wealth, but for its use, its growth, and its impact. Stewardship also teaches humility. When we use what we have wisely, we acknowledge that it is not truly ours, but entrusted to us. This perspective shifts our focus from self-glorification to service. We stop seeking recognition for what we have, and start seeking ways to serve others. Wealth becomes a channel through which love, care, and hope flow. Our actions then testify to God's provision, revealing His faithfulness and generosity to the world. Those who understand stewardship know that quiet, wise giving often carries more power than public displays of wealth, for it demonstrates a heart aligned with divine purposes rather than human applause. Another critical dimension of stewardship is foresight. The wise steward plans not only for immediate needs but also for the future. They consider the impact of decisions not just today but for years to come. Investments in education, community, and charitable work create ripple effects that extend far beyond the present moment. This foresight requires patience and discipline, resisting impulsive desires that satisfy only temporarily, while embracing choices that bear lasting fruit. Stewardship is an ongoing practice, a lifestyle of thoughtful management, careful planning, and faithful use of resources. Moreover, stewardship is an act of faith. When we give, invest, or share wisely, we are declaring that we trust God to provide, guide, and multiply what He has entrusted to us. We are saying that our security does not rest in wealth alone, but in the one who gives it. This faith-based approach transforms money from a source of worry into a source of empowerment. We begin to see every blessing as an opportunity to participate in God's work, to make a difference in the lives of others, and to leave a legacy that reflects divine wisdom rather than human ambition. Stewardship also teaches gratitude. A heart that manages resources with care and purpose constantly remembers that nothing truly belongs to us. Every blessing is a gift, every opportunity a chance to serve, and every moment an opportunity to reflect God's provision. Gratitude keeps pride at bay, guards against misuse, and inspires generosity. The steward who acts with gratitude multiplies blessings not only materially but spiritually, as their faithfulness encourages others and glorifies God in every action. So, my friends, let us embrace stewardship in every area of our lives. Let us manage our blessings with wisdom, intentionality, and foresight. Let us give generously, invest thoughtfully, and act with a heart aligned to God's purposes. In doing so, we transform wealth into testimony, resources into blessings, and blessings into enduring impact. True stewardship is not just about wealth. It is about faithfulness, character, and the wise use of every gift God has entrusted to us. Let us be faithful stewards, knowing that what we manage well honors God and multiplies His blessings in the lives of many.